I'm curious if you've found that you're being treated a certain way because you are a new group, because you are a female-led group, or even because you have, a unique approach to the development work that you do. I'm curious if you've noticed any of that, or if you have any stories that have come from your experience now, sort of on your own, and not, part of a larger group like Gorilla.
I love getting this question because there's lots of kind of, oh my goodness, answers to it. And absolutely, it's there. As much as we're in the year 2023, there's still an incredible amount of stigma around being a woman in this business. And one such example, my business partner, who I am co-developing this family missing middle housing product called Short Stack with, her name is Jessie Ledesma. She owns her own real estate development company here in Portland called Homework Development. We were looking for sites for Short Stack and found this kind of out of the way property on something like Redfin. So although it was zoned such that it would be really attractive to a commercial real estate developer, it wasn't being brokered by a commercial real estate broker. It wasn't on LoopNet. So we found we kind of stumbled across something that could be really cool here.
Yeah.
And so we approached the broker, a residential broker, and put an offer in, and were denied with very, very little conversation or reason. Basically, my client won't entertain that offer. And I will say, we offered slightly below asking, but a price that was certainly backed up by market comps. And so we got it in our heads to call Kevin Kavanaugh, again, of Gorilla Development, and ask a big favor, which was, hey, would you mind calling this broker and putting in this exact same bid for this land and seeing if he doesn't accept it? And sure enough, that day, with very little fanfare, Kevin was approved for a purchase of this land on the same bid.
Wow.
And he, it was always, assumed that he would assign it to us, which he eventually did. But it was a real kind of aha moment for that broker. It was kind of okay, Kevin shows up to the meeting and he steps aside, and I'm standing behind him, and I'm like, it's me, it's us. And I'm not sure that anyone really learned anything there, unfortunately, but it did kind of underline, you got to just stay creative. You can't take things too personally. And as with all things in real estate, there's usually a way to get to yes, depending on who you're willing to recruit in your mission to get there.
Yeah. And I know we're laughing and kind of smiling about this because maybe we don't know what else to do, but that is, to your point about it being 2023, that's very disappointing, even in an area that you would think, and I'm speaking to Portland Metro, that you would think would be very open to this, no issues whatsoever. It's tough. It's a tough story to hear, but highlights obviously the ingenuity that female developers still need to lean into. And in this case, it's a perfect example.
Yeah. And I mean, that's not even scratching the surface of how challenging it is for, my contemporaries to get to the same place. At least I could call Kevin, and I think it does highlight this interesting juxtaposition between being in a very progressive city where outwardly there's a lot of support for these creative ideas, but when it comes down to it, there's still a lot of good old boys, kind of holding some of the reins. And it's just a slow transitional period to some progressive
Yeah.
utopia right on the other side.
Right.